Hello, hello, hello. It's me, Michelle, your vanilla horror host of Coffee Fueled Stories. And today is going to be so awesome. We have Jamal Hodge and Linda D. Addison with their brand new book to tell us how awesome these poems are. So, those books are gorgeous. I thank you so much. I love it. So, welcome to the show, you guys. Welcome.
Hey, good to be back.
Good to be here for the first time.
Yeah, I saw you got your coffee. That's a beautiful mug.
Why, thank you. I do love coffee. It's my alien one. I got a lot of them.
I love it. So, okay, you know what? Let's just jump in on that real quick. So, do you have a favorite mug that you have to use every day, or when you're writing? Do you have like a writing mug and that you're like, this mug is going to produce so much?
There's this one and there's a Mandalorian.
Awesome. What about you, Jamal? Do you have a favorite mug that you use?
Um, I don't have favorites. No. Yeah, I'm joking. I don't. I always drink out of a water bottle, unfortunately. So I'm like breaking the mold. I'm an abomination to the coffee site. I'm not really like a big coffee drinker because everybody I know is obsessed with coffee, and I got scared of being addicted to it on set. But when I do drink coffee, I have like this it's an all black mug that I use. Um, you know, not because I'm all black, but the mug, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So that's actually a perfect segue because you guys have your new book, Everything Endless. And so, I mean, it's so beautiful. This is oh my gosh. So tell the listeners about your brand new book, Everything Endless.
Well, I think first Jamal should talk about the cover since he and Ben Baldwin designed it and it reflects some of what the book's about.
The Vitruvian Man. It's a play on the Vitruvian Man by Michelangelo. I mean, obviously a famous image, but what we wanted to do to encapsulate everything endless is that if you look at it closely, you can see that we opted out for a black woman for source, and we have the universe within and around her. We also you can see a clock that circles her for time. You can see the different constellations that exist within the universe, and then you have like the ripple of space, of time through space in itself, and motion, and everything within it. So it's pretty much a symbol of everything endless. That's within and without us. So as above, so below, as within, so without.
I love
He
it.
And
says that so well. I love it.
That's awesome. So, how did this collaboration start? Did you, Jamal, call Linda, or did you guys like run into each other and have a conversation? How did this book come about?
well, Linda's been mentoring me for almost a decade. You know what I'm saying? And she's been a guide and a friend, and you know, like the queen of all dark poetry, right? So I wanted to be knighted. And I came up with this idea because, just having studied Linda and her work for so long, I noticed that she had not really delved too much into the dwarf poem category, something that I really enjoyed and I was kind of good at. But like I was like, well, Linda, you haven't really delved into that space as much. And I know she liked call and response. I know she likes the universe. I know she writes a lot about dimensions, the inner and outer dimensions. So I wanted to create a whole package around the things that she loves to do, only one thing. So I could convince her to do it because a lot of those things I love myself. So to me, it just made a lot of sense. And a lot of times, we don't custom things for the people that are around us, the greats. You know what I'm saying? So, she had given me so much, contributed so much to my style and even my like understanding of the art form. the medium, that I would just want to do something that she can really enjoy and have fun with. And then I'll be able to stand, but learn some more things right with her, which is a dream of mine. And it all came to pass. So after 2 years of begging and, you know, trying to you know, convince and bribe and all those things, you know what I mean?
Mhm. I mean, basically, he knew how I write because we talk all the time. So he's planting all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't have time. I got all this stuff to do. And then all of a sudden, boom, it all just came to me at once. And it was an incredible experience. And the idea of it too, if the title really says it, the cover really says it, everything endless. We both really love exploring the whole idea of what's inside humans and also what is the infinite like. So it was a magnificent
Yeah, it's great. I,
experience.
I feel like after the thing, my writing has improved so much from that experience, because some of the things that, she would do. Like, oh, I got this idea for this thing, and I'm just like, I don't even know what that is. So I will have to go and study for a week, or
My
write.
my favorite words with Jamal is I say something, he's like, I don't know. And I said, give me a call back after you Google it. I mean, I've been doing this for 50 years, so I kind of
Yeah.
have absorbed a lot, and I still look stuff up. But I mean, I always learn too. I mean, this is really the voice that we wrote with, the story that we're telling from beginning to end. It's not just poetry; it's an orchestration of a story from inner to outer. And I learned so much myself. I always do. So it was wonderful.
That's so cool. So would you guys be interested in doing maybe like a reading of one of them on here?
Sure.
Sure.
All right, since you guys both have a book, that would be awesome. So now, before I pick one, do you guys have a favorite one that you would like to read
Well, I
before
have one that
I?
I think is digestible that I'll read. And it's well, there's two of them that I'll read. I'll read one of the really short ones, and then I'll read one from the third section. So one from the second section and one from the third section. The first one that I'll read will be called Earthman, and it opens up the second section. Got to shout out Raw Dog for how beautiful they made this book.
Amazing.
Yes,
It came out
yes.
Fabulous.
really, really lovely.
Okay, sorry, Jamal, before you read, you're never
Yes.
going to believe this. Earthman is actually the one that I was going to request. I've got it in my notes. I've got it in
Great
my notes.
minds think alike.
Yes. Okay, okay. Let's do this.
All right. So, Earthman. Earthman, bereft of inner space, seeks outer space to make a place in the image of a space he hopes to replace.
Yes.
Love that one.
I love it. I love it. Linda, do you have a favorite that you would like to read before I do my request?
I'm so curious about your requests. I do, but what is your request? I'm curious.
Okay, so I actually did, since the book is in three, I have one, so from the beginning section, no beginning, I have Inner Space, Linda, and then for Jamal, I have Boiling Frog Syndrome.
Okay. I'll read that one then.
And then on No End, the second part was Earthman.
How about I read on the same page, A Soul Never Forgets?
There you go, there you go.
Works for me. Okay. A soul never forgets. A soul never forgets its re-entry to flesh. A new version, same old stardust. The revolving journey from first breath to last. From atoms born inside a star.
You this I can I just say how freaking cool this book is. Like I love how, and again I'll go back and look at my because I have the electronic version, so when I was looking at the page, but I love how you have like you said, the call and response, how you have Jamal and then Linda, and then you'll have Linda and then Jamal. Like that was just, I don't know, there's just something so freaking cool about that, like that concept. I've never seen a poetry book like this, especially about the concept of what you guys created. So thank you for sharing your guys' work. Like this is just amazing.
I
Well,
mean,
a lot of the foundation of the book was really designed by Jamal. You know, and as he said, dwarf poems, which are very short poems, 10 lines and so forth. I love doing them, but I hadn't explored them like with him. And he had an idea of these three sections, which was lovely for me because I have sort of a wild mind. So I'm like, I'll just run through the wild fields you set up. So it was great. And I love call and response. I really do.
a cool hidden feature of the book is we wanted to give you the sense of actually combining time and space. So what I mean by that, inform in the poetry form, because Linda she loves shapes and the shapes of poems and poem form, right? So we wanted to capture compressed time but have big meaning into every poem. So big space and compressed time. So like the form of the poems is that. So every poem it's short to it takes a short amount of time to ingest it, but the meaning is either huge or multidimensional.
And
So
Jamal
so
does a
so
fabulous job of that with his. Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah,
so
I loved it. So for me, what you guys created was word art. It's just the way that you guys wrote the words themselves are also part of it's part of the poetry. It's not just, linear and with periods. Like the way that you guys crafted, I'll use that word. The way that you crafted the words on the page are just as important as the words themselves. Again,
mhm,
freaking
mhm.
awesome.
Don't you just love her, Linda? Ain't she awesome? Isn't she awesome?
Well, and this was my
Oh,
introduction
I
to you,
do.
Linda. Like I've never so to read something that pushed you to a new, arena. Like I felt I don't know, I felt like a kid in a candy store. Like it was really cool.
That was it. I mean, it was really like great fun to me. I write from my subconscious. I'm very organic. So once it had put in all the stuff that Jamal had been throwing at me when I was saying no, 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 when it came, it was so energized, and then work. We do have the same kind of crazy minds. So there was no like, I mean, okay, I put some forms on him that he hadn't done before, but the basic concepts that not last section, but the section before that with the seven laws. Oh, I had to go look that one up. He was like, what about
See,
doing this? I was
got you
like,
back. I got you back on that one.
yes, you did. I was like, let me get back to you. I had to go look it up. It was amazing to do that section.
Okay, that I have on here for my notes. The fourth law and the seventh law, like literally, I have the words brilliant, like that. The law sec, like just like I wish you. I'm gonna see if you can see this. Can you see? Oh crap. Anyway,
Okay.
I have two exclamation marks and a screamy face, like mind blown, like just like what?
Yeah, I think the fourth one is very visual, so to
Mhm.
read that would be a little bit tricky. But the seventh law, um, I loved reading that one, and that one does have, as Jamal says, a shape. You can see
Yes,
this is in here.
yes.
That's quite on purpose, not an accident. But yeah, I love doing shape poems. They're called concrete when you do a shape, but
I
So
love.
you want us to read those?
No, no, that's okay. I just wanted you guys to at least read a couple of your word art pieces, just so that others can experience like I said, the brilliance of your guys' words. Um, so I have this question is for both of you, and you can. How about Linda? Let's start with you. Poetry. Do you remember the first time you had your mind blown by poetry? Like, at what age did you get into poetry?
It was very young. It was the, fables that they read you in school that had that rhyming, like little rhyming thing to it. And I was immediately, now I was like what, 5, 6 years old when they're reading these, and they were reading it, the teacher was reading from a book. And all I can remember at 5 or 6 is thinking, I want to make things like that. And the poetry that the rhyming of the fable is like music. So I plugged in completely like around 6. Mind you, up until then, my mother, who I was the oldest of 9, my mother was an incredible natural storyteller. So she told us stories every night. She put us into stories. So my imagination really never got squashed. It just went wild and crazy. And since then, it's been a little nutty.
I love that. I love, and that would explain why you are a grand master. Like that, you have achieved that level in literature. So congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. And Jamal, when
And
did you
Jamal,
make it?
Like with all things, I'm the inverse version of Linda Addison. So I started very late into poetry because I was always on the type of time was like, what's up with that soft shit? I don't want to do all this emotional stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I was disconnected from my emotions most of my life actually. And then I started reading some some stuff. And, actually, Linda's stuff was a big part of that. I really loved her poetry and her work. I saw some stuff in Space and Time that I really liked because I've always been like a science fiction nerd, actually. But, I lived a dark life, so I have all these dark thoughts, so they will always merge like the sci-fi and the horror. And then I saw that there's people that was doing poems like that, like Linda was, certain people that I really like, Mark Simon, Christina Singh. Um, and I gave it a shot. And then, I was pretty good at it. And then Linda was like, hey, you might be actually good at this. You should look at it. And then during the pandemic, when nobody knew what was going on and I was kind of losing everything in 2020, I realized poetry was like the best way for me to express myself. It was the best way for me to say what I couldn't say. You know what I mean? And what came up out of that was the dark between the twilight.
yes.
Um, you know?
I'll be right back. I gotta get my copy. What the heck?
And that's when you were on the show last year. We talked about that, and like I said, it
Yeah.
made me cry. I mean, some of those pieces were just so raw and beautiful, and
Mhm.
just amazing.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
mean, it was just like all from the
Yes.
heart, you know?
Yeah.
It was all from like kind of walking that journey. I wanted people to also, because I feel like if you walk another person's journey, sometimes you get to your own destination, right?
Yeah.
Where you're supposed to go, where you was meant to go. So like, you know, that's so that then I fell in love with poetry, and I had like there's like 5 of them in my head that I wanted to make, but it's only like 5 things that I want to say in that form, that art form. So one of them obviously was Everything Endless. I wanted to do something with Linda, and it happened to come true.
And by the way, his first poetry collection is on the final ballot for the Bram Stoker Award.
Yes.
And not for nothing,
That's crazy.
but that's kind of amazing, you
Heck
know,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
wonderful and worthy of it, by the way.
Yes.
So worthy of it.
Yeah, so beautiful. Just I yes, like I said, I was moved m many times with those with your word art. Like it was, it's just beautiful. And again, congrats for that, you know. So
I have a marker right here in The Fool's Slumber because that one, whew, gives me chills every time I read it. I mean, there's a lot in here that does that, but that one in particular, really.
yeah, yeah. So silly. I'm gonna ask you guys some silly questions because sometimes poetry can be very heavy, and sometimes the content can be very heavy. So I want to have a little bit of fun with you guys if you're down for that.
Of course.
Okay. So I call these rapid fire questions, and there's no wrong answer. So, Jamal, I'm gonna start with you. Uh,
Uh-oh. You know I'm not safe, right?
that's why we're doing it. All right. Jelly beans or gummy worms?
Jelly beans, of course. Cool.
All right, Linda,
Yes.
same questions. Gummy worms or jelly beans?
Gummy worms.
So, now, as far as do you guys want to keep going with some more of these questions, or
Sure.
It's your
okay,
Of
show.
course.
It's your show.
Linda, let's start with you.
Yeah.
Because coffee is very important. Um, how much coffee do you drink in a day?
I really only need one a day, but it's got to start today, or I'm not even in the same dimension as the rest of humans on this planet.
And how do you take your coffee?
With cream, sweet, sugar.
Awesome. So Jamal, I know you were just talking about coffee, and I'll never forget what you had said in the previous episode. That on set, like, don't mess with people's coffee. And then,
No.
like you said, you were, you don't want to get into the coffee. So what do you like to drink, and how much of it do you drink in a day?
Well, being that the refined man that I am, I have my hydrogen water, my filtered hydrogen water with lemon and lime. So, I drink that to get like a lot of vitamins and even some minerals into my blood every day. And it's the main thing that I drink because tourist people are boring by nature. So I just drink water all the time, mainly. You know.
Or what is your sign? Are you a Taurus like us?
Me or
Yeah,
him?
you.
Oh, I'm Virgo.
You're Virgo. All
What's
right.
the earth
Virgos get along with everybody. They just look side-eyed at Taurus. They're like, okay, well, okay. My son's Taurus. I mean, I know a lot of Taurus.
sign?
All right.
You
All
know,
right. So let's get back to it. So, chocolate or peanut butter? Linda, let's start with you. Chocolate or
I
peanut
take a
butter?
piece of chocolate with peanut butter. It's the best way to do it.
Right, Jamal, what do you say?
Chocolate.
All right.
I'm a cannibal. I'm a cannibal. You know.
Okay, let's just take that one. Let's go with that one. All right. If you're gonna eat a piece of human, what would you eat first?
Well, I know the answer to this. I actually looked it up because I look up things like this. There's actually a chart online where it
What?
has the entire human organs you're supposed to take if you have to eat a person. It's really crazy, and it's all a diagram and it has all the parts, and it's really crazy. You can look it up.
The show
Don't
just
ask me
went off
why I
the
know
rails
this.
for Linda.
I
Sorry.
am a horror writer, so we have to research these things.
This
I'm
is
So,
already writing the poem. I gotta look it up. I'm writing the poem.
but you want to eat certain organs. You
oh,
don't really want to eat the outside meat because you could prepare them better and things like that.
Liver,
see
the liver, the
Yeah,
heart. Mm,
yeah, liver, heart, things
what?
like that.
I would have gone for liver first.
Buttocks. You want to
Um.
eat buttocks?
Okay, I was gonna say, what's wrong with me? Because first thing I thought was butt. I was like, I'm gonna eat the butt.
Well, what we do in the comfort of our own homes is,
Consenting
Linda,
adults. Consenting adults. Oh my God. I thought like she passed out. Oh, she's gone. Okay, she's back.
oh
But
my God.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so that's good to know. All right, so I know the show kind of went a little off the rails there. About
Ninja's fault.
people. I shouldn't have asked that question. I'll take the blame on that
Oh,
one.
I'm so glad you did.
It's my fault. My fault. You should never ask. I see. I know better. You should never ask a horror writer questions like that. So, um, but In all seriousness, though, Linda, you have just you got the Lifetime Achievement Award from the HWA, yes?
Yes.
Like, can you talk about that for just a few minutes? Because that's, I'm gonna use these words. That's pretty fucking awesome.
I think it's pretty awesome too. And not, I did not expect it. I think I'm pretty sure I'm the first poet to have gotten it. And it kind of that and the Grandmaster, both of those, I did not see them at all. And so I was just I actually thought someone was punking me. I was like, is this real? This email? What is going on? But it was an amazing, amazing experience. And it was the same year that a anthology I worked on, which is Sycorax's Daughters, the first anthology of Black women writing horror. It's fiction and poetry. That was on the final ballot the same time as I got the Lifetime Achievement. And when I first got it, I was like, have I worked hard enough for that? Because that's a big thing. But then the fact that Sycorax's Daughters was on the final ballot, even though it didn't win, that was major. So then I was like, okay, okay, fine. I guess I did enough.
At what age did you get into horror?
It was in college because the first 18 years I read a lot of science fiction and fantasy. I lived in a very fearful environment. So for me to face it, it was when I was in college and I felt safe in myself, the surroundings. Because for me, I tried to make it very real, and authentic to my own feelings. So college.
Thank you. It's so crazy that horror brings us solace. It's very cathartic. It's so powerful. Most people just think horror, gross, gore, lots of blood, but there's so much depth to horror, so much depth. And
Yeah, I mean,
Jamal, oh,
oh, go
sorry.
ahead. Ask Jamal. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Jamal, some of the films that you have made, like they have so much power, and then you were taking us behind the scenes of that one we talked about this where the woman was screaming, and like it's just like I said, it's so powerful. Like horror is so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, because horror deals with it transcends language. It transcends, like somebody I like to know that I do know always says, life is mainly about a choice between love or fear. You know, somebody I know says that all the time. And it's really like it's really true. And I think
Yes.
that's what horror deals with, you know? And when the midpoint between those two things is survival, right? So it's like I think you could convey the raw human experience. Horror kind of shows us how to survive, how to fight, even how to die, and there's not a lot of mediums that are that honest, that deal with life in its primal raw form like that. Although there is so much subtlety in horror as well, especially when you get into like social horror, like the stuff that you see Jordan Peele is doing, or Sinners. If you watch that, there's both the blatant and the subtle in combination in Sinners, from Ryan Coogler. So, I mean, there's so much to say about horror, but ultimately, I think horror is about survival, and survival is about hope. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I love Blumhouse. He like has his finger on the pulse with those movies. Like it's really funny. All my wifey has to say is, "There's a Blumhouse that just came out," and I'm like, "Yes." You don't want to hear about it? No, just well, play it now. So, being that you have so many, both of you have so many different areas that you play in. And I know, Jamal, you said you're not supposed to say you have favorites, but I'm gonna ask because that's what I'm gonna do. Linda, do you have a favorite arena that you like to play in? Do you prefer science fiction poetry, or do you prefer poetry, horror poetry, do you have something that just it's like oxygen. If you don't play in that arena, you don't feel fulfilled.
Um, for me, poetry is always going through my mind, like all the time. Like sometimes I have to say to myself, "You're driving the car now. I need you to be present behind the wheel." So, I mean, poetry for one thing is my main voice, although I'm working on novels now. Um, Honestly, I didn't think when I first started with this that I was a horror writer, but apparently I am. It's called psychological horror because I play in the area which is very reflective of what Jamal was saying of what fears, what makes me afraid, what makes me angry, what makes me, and then I take it outside the real a little bit. So, mostly these years it's been that, but now I've been playing the last few years and now I've been playing a lot in science fiction and multiple realities and infinite reality. I'm mad for quantum physics. So
And you have a degree in mathematics, yes?
I do. I have a BS in math. Originally it was in physics, but I needed a PhD and to work in physics. And I was like, yeah, I can't go to school that long. So I took math because physics is applied math.
I love it. What about Jamal? We like I said, you're not supposed to play favorites, but do you like to have it for you? Like, are you constantly creating films or poetry? Like, where is it that you feel that that is oxygen to you? Where, like, I love your analogy, Linda. Like, you're driving and you've got a poem in your head. What about you, Jamal? What is part of your breath?
I don't know. I'm not so complex. These are complex ideas for me. I just do things. I kind of it's hard for me to see things as separate. That's the thing in my brain. I don't see the world as things as separate in that way. I kind of like if I was to say what I like to play would just be storytelling, but that's a cop out from your question. So, but it would be my honest answer because I do things based on instinct, feeling, and moral relevance at the time. Um, and then whatever forms it takes is what it takes. It usually takes the form of either I don't know, like not like far-reaching science fiction, but like near sci-fi, because I'm obsessed with I guess Afrofuturism on some level because I always want to give my people a future because I feel like culturally that's something that we've lacked in entertainment and in I think everything is about the past or the present. So I want to give us a future, but so we can have a shared idea of the future, kind of like how like Star Trek created this shared idea of having, the joint there was always carrying, and now we got cell phones. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like what you imagine is what manifests collectively. So we have to have a shared future to manifest a future that we all can believe in as a people. So I kind of I think that's like morally what I'm really into. But then I also like to show I like to teach people how to be compassionate through courage. That's my main thing. So whatever medium that takes, what it takes, usually takes horror and science fiction. But yeah, that's what I would say. I don't care if I'm doing film. I like the collaborative nature of film a lot. But my first love is writing because that's when I was in my situations we spoke about last time. It was writing and storytelling that took me to dimensions that were far better than the suffering that was in the one that my body was in, right?
Yeah.
So I would see writing as like a path to harmony or freedom.
I love that. I love that. And you said that you want to try to be the best person that you can be. When I was reading the introduction. You guys were kind of setting up the book, and that just spoke to me because every day we try to make we try to be the best person. We try to be our best self, right? We try to help others, and that compassion. Like I just love that. And I love that it's compassion with horror. I mean, that's come on. Right?
I will say, Michelle, that some people do wake up and be like, I'm gonna be the worst bastard I could be today. Who am I gonna shit on today? Who am I gonna steal from? Who am I gonna hurt?
Oh,
There are people like that, and it's hard for people who are not like that to imagine that there's people like that, but there are people like that. I
you're
kind
absolutely.
of, grew up with a lot of
And
them.
I
So,
think being great or being at your excellence, because everyone in my mind has a greatness in them. They don't
mhm.
always identify it, but I know that to be true. If I talked to someone long enough, I would find where they were a hero for someone in their life at some point. But that's the other thing that Jamal and I both have too, is that I'm always trying to be better. I don't feel like I've hit like a plateau, like, oh, I can just cruise now, which some people could do. I have no interest in that. I'm always trying to break the line I'm at and go a little bit more expansive. So it's
Mhm.
really important.
Absolutely. I love that you said that because, and Jamal, by the way, when you were talking about the opposite of being good, people waking up and just, who am I gonna, I literally got like a little bit physically ill and goosebumps because I'm like, oh yeah, there are people like that out there. And so I'm gonna live in my little bubble, in
I'm
my little,
here. I'm here to remind everybody. I can't let y'all get too happy or feel too safe. That's what I'm here for.
really,
That's what work is here for.
I'm gonna live in my little bubble with you too.
Here for you.
I just want to stay here. All right, so I have to ask, book signings. Are you guys going to be doing any book signings, any book events, shared readings? Where can people learn more about you both, and what things do you guys have coming out?
Last week when our book opened and we did some fantastic readings. We did a book signing talk at Barnes and Nobles
You
in
guys were
New
at
Jersey.
Vortex too, right? I'm sorry,
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
Vortex.
you were just at
And
Vortex. I know, I missed that.
was that near you? Do you live near there?
No, but damn it, I wanted
Oh,
to. I was like, God, I miss
It
all
was
the good
good.
stuff out here.
yeah.
It was
And
really
then
good.
we also did a fantastic talk and book signing at Plainsfield. You say the whole thing. It's a
In the city of
fantastic.
Plainsfield, basically, the state out there, they have a art center. So we was at the Plainsfield Art Center, and they supported us and stuff like that, sponsored us and
Yeah,
hosted us really beautifully. I mean, we had like four different gatherings back to back to back to back. And in three different states. So it was really
yeah.
interesting, but
It
great.
was great. We'll be doing more though, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. I would say maybe like in the summer, definitely by the summer, fall, we'll be back at it out again.
Very cool. Very cool. Are you guys both going to be attending StokerCon?
Yes.
I have no choice.
He's a finalist. He has to go. I'll be there too. It's
I'll
gonna
be
be
there.
fun. I think we'll probably do some readings there or something, stuff like that. We'll be doing the book signing. We'll both be
Mm,
doing book signing.
yep.
That,
Yep.
that is so cool. That is
It's
so cool.
in Stamford, Connecticut this year.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
pretty close
Yes.
to me, not to
For
y'all.
you, not to me. I'm in Arizona. It's like
But you got lucky last year. It was just a hop skip for you last year. You was
I
There
know.
you
like,
go.
So I
Yeah.
appreciate and love that idea.
Is that what HWA does? They're like, okay, we're gonna do one here, we're gonna do one there, and then maybe like in the middle because there it was in Colorado at one time, a
Yeah, it
couple
was
yeah,
years
in
ago.
Denver.
I went to that
Yeah.
one.
Yes, in
Yeah.
Denver. They do try to move it around, I think, from
Yeah. Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
went to the only one I've attended was the Queen Mary.
Oh, I was there.
I was gonna say, I think that was my very first experience ever with. I had just joined the HWA, and that was my very first StokerCon. And I want to say, I'm I remember like you walked by, and this is gonna be a terrible question, but didn't you have like gorgeous long braids at the
I
time?
was just going to say every year I have different hair. So then I was wearing long, multicolored extensions and mo like the sides shaved. Yes.
Like I had just joined. I didn't know who you were by
Mm.
name, but you walked by, and I was like, I think that's somebody really important and big. Like I just, there was just so. I was like, I was like, I don't know who that is, but I was like, she just has this presence.
The
I
queen and
think
her
that's
kingdom.
I think that's the year they gave me the Lifetime Achievement. Yes. I think so. On the Queen Mary.
Oh,
Sure.
that's so cool. I only attended, so I'm not to bring it down, but I had only been a widow for 1 month, and so that was
Oh,
like a horrible day and an amazing day.
oh.
So meeting and seeing my tribe, like that was the day when I realized these are my people. It
Yeah.
was so I had a great time at the lowest point of my life. So I could only attend for so long because I literally was like, okay, my emotions are so raw right now, and I had a blast. And then of course I came home and just cried. But like I said, I remember you specifically because like those braids were just it was just awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I do like to have fun with hair and jewelry and clothes.
for sure. For sure. So I want to ask, do you have, I've never done this before, so I'm going to do this with you guys. Do you guys have a question for me? I had a feeling that was going to stump you guys.
Well, my question for you, Michelle, is
Yes,
um,
Jamal.
which one is more important? Or which one would you choose to save? All the coffee beans in the world or all the puppies?
Puppies. I'm going to have to go with the puppies.
I
I,
don't believe you. I know, but you like coffee. I don't believe you.
I'm going to have to go with the puppies. I'm gonna have to go with the puppies. Those little bellies, the puppies, just As much as I love coffee, I'll have to go with puppies. I love that
I
question.
I have a question.
Yes.
What do you think is the best part of a puppy to eat?
You didn't. No, you didn't. I am not eating a puppy. No, no.
Even if you were starving and it was the only thing around and that little belly was looking at you, really?
No, you know what
And it
I
was
would do?
pulling at your, it was pulling at your feet, looking up at you.
You know what I would do? I would cut a chunk of my arm and I would feed it to my puppy. That's what I would do.
Wow, that's
That is where
commitment.
my heart is.
That's
Wow.
commitment. I'm impressed.
That's what I would do. You live, little one, so I don't.
Yeah, and then after the puppy ate your arm, he would have more meat, so then I would eat the puppy after, you know.
Again,
The cycle of life. The cycle of life.
No, I'm just trying to create a scenario where the puppy dies, but she.
Um,
number one rule. Number one rule. We
I
do not
know,
kill
I know,
animals. No.
you can't
I
do it in
know.
stories. You do have a point. If you kill a dog in a
No.
It's over.
story,
Yeah,
you
it's
can
over.
kill kids and everything, but a dog? Ooh.
I know it's
No.
bad.
I do. I love my horror, but there's a number no children and no dogs. You can kill all the bad people. Please kill all the bad people. Just
One of the bad people is a child or adult, like Damien or something like
how
What's
about
that Stephen
Roman.
King one? The Stephen King one with the
Oh,
rat?
Cujo?
Cujo.
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 Well, what if the bad dog and the bad child just go at each other and just take each other out? I don't have to do anything.
Depends on how big the dog is
Yeah,
and how demonic the child is.
yeah.
It's not obvious who would win that. Just saying.
It's like the one gorilla versus 100 men thing going around right now. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my
I
life.
don't know about
I
this.
don't either. What is this?
There's this thing going around on the internet right now where there's this theoretical argument of who would win barehanded in a fight. one gorilla, silverback,
Ooh.
or 100 men unarmed?
I think 100 men could do it. A few of them
You,
would have to be
a silverback can bench press 4,000 pounds.
oh,
It can lift up 10 times its weight. Its
ooh.
bones, it's over 5 times stronger, about 5 times as strong as dense as human bones, human male's bones, and it basically has the bite force
Yes.
of almost of a tiger.
So I see this unfolding as some of those 100 gonna have to die for the cause. So
Yes,
while it's chewing, eating, and killing, somebody takes one of those bone
limbs,
body and yes, the face. You're gonna have to go for the face or the neck.
Yeah, the soft parts. Soft parts.
but its skin is like harder, denser than leather. It's like really hard to get in there.
But I
Eyeball.
mean the nose. Like if somebody attacks you and you hit them in their nose, you could kill them.
That won't kill it though. It'll just make it'll hurt it, but it won't kill it.
Hmm.
They're
Eyeball.
saying the only way that the men could win is if they all dogpiled it.
Yeah,
And
okay.
like kind of like what bees do to wasps,
Yes.
and just that heat and that suffocation. Like a lot of people have to die, but would basically overheat it or basically like smother it to death. Like, but
Yeah.
trying to hit it, I think it's not.
No, I agree with that. It would have to be the whole mass of them. Nobody can be hanging back trying to live. It's got to be one for all and all for one.
I'd be like, get him, go, go, go.
I'd be going in the opposite direction while it's killing the
I'd be
rest of them.
walking
I was like, here's
I'm going
me.
this way. Y'all go ahead.
away.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys have been absolutely awesome. So thank you for taking the show at a very deep and thoughtful level, and then also a very wrong level. I couldn't have. I'm so glad that we just went and we just went. So thank you for playing along. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for hanging out.
My
Yeah, I mean, you're
pleasure.
fantastic as always.
I
Thank you.
love
Love
hanging
looking
out
in
with
this.
Jamal. He's my fave. I
I
love coffee. It's my
yeah
favorite. It doesn't get better than that.
yeah. All
Of
right.
course,
So
Jamal would do. Yes, I like that, Jamal.
oh
I
yeah yeah. I like that.
like that.
Ooh, wait. Do it, and then I'll so bring it forward and back, both of you. Yeah. There we go. There we
Ooh,
go. Ooh. All right. I
ooh,
love it.
cool.
So the way that the show ends, Linda, is I have the guests say the tagline, go forth and be magical. But since there's two of you, I'm not sure if you guys want to do like a call and response to that. Like, Linda, go. Jamal, forth. Yeah, please. Jamal, what do you got?
We we never said what we have coming up. I realize,
Please. What have you got
or
coming
how
up?
or how to contact us, or blah
Yeah,
blah
yeah,
blah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Share
Why
it.
don't you do it first?
My site, um, lindaaddisonwriter.com, and on social media, Nightbird, NYTE, Bird, or just Linda Addison. What do I have coming up next? Whew, it's a lot of stuff. But right now, what I'm very excited about is being in, besides, everything endless, obviously, is space
Look at that.
funk. Yes. And I love, yeah, I'm in that. I'm happy and delighted to be here. Always happy to hang out with Jamal and anybody else, especially coffee fueled people.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Jamal? What you got going on?
Well, I got a few things. But I'm doing a anthology called Shards of Gotham. I got some cool people in. I'm I just finished a book called I'm Not a Good Person. I'm a New Yorker, and another book which is a collection of short stories and prose poetry called Artscape of Evils, The Seven Deadly Sins of the Modern Age. And then I have another project that I'm doing with some pretty amazing. It's a collaboration with some amazing writers that we're doing. So those are like my four projects of the year that I want to complete, and I'm pretty much up to the third one now, finishing it up. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Awesome. I look forward to both of your projects upcoming. And Jamal, like I
Writer
said,
Hodge. Yeah, writerhodge.com. Socials is Director H on Instagram, and just my name, Jamal Hodge, on Facebook.
yes, absolutely. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out. So how would you like to do the tagline of "Go forth and be magical"? Do you want to?
I'll say go forth, and then she can say Matt and be magical.
There you go. All right. So
Collaboration, baby.
yeah. So take us out of here, Jamal.
Go forth
And be magical.